What's up, everybody? How you guys doing today? On this May 19th? Oh boy. I just realized that is a significant day within the wrestling community, which I haven't really paid attention to in a long time. Just kind of fell out of love with it and just haven't been able to catch my interest again. But we got a lot to talk about because it's been a little while since I've done one of these. Welcome to Brad's Bad Show About Games. My name is Brad and I am not a naked banana. As ridiculous as it is to have to say that. But it is relevant, sort of. Not really, but at least it's something to laugh at. Anyway, we've got a lot of Fortnite stuff to talk about. First up, this went live just today. We kind of knew this was coming. The official Fortnite NBA collab is here. You can go to the site, pick a team to join, and as long as you are one of the first 15,000 people to join a team, you can earn V-Bucks if your team ranks fairly well. I joined the Bulls, the Chicago Bulls. That was going to be the team I was going to join anyway because when I was a kid, that was the only team I kind of cared about. Primarily for Michael Jordan. Like, I always loved the Bulls run out. And that was pretty much the main appeal to me was that. And Jordan was a big star at the time. And, of course I've talked about, Space Jam and all that. But apparently the Bulls were the second most popular team behind the Lakers. And apparently the Lakers, the limit for the Lakers pretty much maxed out almost immediately. So I got in real quick, joined the Bulls, and so I'm on the team there. So hopefully our team will get enough points that I can get a few free V-Bucks. I think it's like 300 is the max. So I'm not exactly sure how all that works, but it was something to do. Of course, there'll be new skins. I actually really do think the skins are these skins look pretty good with the jerseys and everything. Probably won't be picking them up because I'm more into the characters. But they look really good. I did play basketball. I might pick one of these up though, because I did play basketball back in the day, and I still like to shoot ball every now and then. But I like the emotes I've seen. I've seen a few of the basketball emotes that they've got. I don't know if they've got. I know I've seen several of them out before, but I think there's a new one or two coming. Those are always fun. I love the emotes, but I think there's some sort of basketball game coming to Fortnite, which would be really cool. Like, I don't know, like, maybe I would have to look into that. Let me see. Because I want to be sure, because if they actually, implement a hold on, I'm looking. Okay, so some sort of the idea seems to be from maybe I'm reading this off of Eurogamer, some sort of mini game that would actually let you play basketball in Fortnite. So that would be really cool to see. Apparently that would be part of Party Royale. And that would be cool. Like, imagine you could play like a full basketball game in Fortnite. And maybe they should be looking into that kind of stuff. I mean, the game's that big, they could have all these different things. And it wouldn't have to be limited to, say, like your community creations or whatever. Popsicle bite. But yeah, this is cool. Now, I don't think there was a trailer that was released, and the star of the trailer was somebody in a Lakers uniform, but I don't think it was LeBron James. It looks like it was maybe a generic character wearing a Lakers jersey. I don't think that was supposed to be him, because otherwise they would have surely plastered his name on it. But I suppose that could come at the end of this thing. It could always come later. But supposedly that was the plan. And who knows, maybe they're waiting until it gets closer to Space Jam 2's release. I've talked about this before. But they could drop the LeBron skin when Space Jam 2 hits theaters. You know, it wouldn't necessarily be a direct promotion for that movie. But if you got a skin for the star of the big film of the summer, you know, I don't know if that's technically the big film of the summer, but, you know, it's a chance to sort of, for lack of a better word, mooch off of the attention that Space Jam 2 is gonna get. So that's just something to think about. Moving on. Yesterday was the 18th, at least at the time of this recording, which means the next chapter of Batman and Fortnite 0 Point came out, and this chapter is almost entirely Batman fighting Snake Eyes. Almost from start to finish. So, the second comic ended with Batman and Catwoman figuring out how to get out of the loop, and Catwoman escapes, which leaves Batman by himself to try to figure out how to escape alone. But because they figured out that emotion, or it's told through some outside witnesses who are watching this, the people presumably the ones who control the island. You get to see emails or messages sent back and forth between various parties involved in controlling the island and monitoring the people there. So they established that emotions carry over between the loop. It's one of the few things that doesn't get erased. And Batman seems to be improving drastically. He's easily overcoming odds, but he seems to just not be able to either get to the end of the circle, you know, or he gets taken out. But but the people watching him can tell he's learning to adapt. He's learning how to eliminate more opponents faster. And so they become concerned that it seems like they want him to figure out how to get out of the loop, because they believe he can do it, but they're not ready for him to do that yet. Or he's progressing too fast, or at a pace that makes them wary of, you know, like, this may be somebody that we won't be able to hold on to control to for very long. So they need an equalizer. Enter Snake Eyes, who pretty much is evenly matched for Batman. All of Batman's training and all of Snake Eyes' training basically renders them as it's the irresistible force meets the immovable object. And the entire chapter is basically watching these two characters fight and having the secret higher ups of the Fortnite island watching in awe that these characters are fighting each other. Hold on just a second. They are so good at fighting that neither one is really, you know, both of them are struggling to really get an upper hand on the other. And it becomes such a spectacle that at one point all of the other combatants on the island stop to watch Batman and Snake Eyes fight. And there's a bunch of cameos in there. Like, I know I saw, like, Agent Peely is there. There's a whole bunch of different skins you see scattered around. The big cameos that you could make out were potentially silhouettes of Ryu and Chun-Li, and then one that looked like it could be Samus Aran from Metroid. You know, Nintendo's big character that was rumored to have been coming a while back, or they at least mentioned her in the court case between Apple. So that could be either a tease of something that's coming or was planned to come and didn't happen, or it could just be their way of kind of sort of allowing Samus to be part of the Fortnite world without actually saying it's Samus, you know? Because if it's just a shadowy silhouette, even if it does look like her, it doesn't have any of her features, and she's not, you know, it's not, you know, 100% identifiable. They could always just say, no, that's just a coincidence. But it's fun to think it could be her and that's a tease for something coming up. Apparently, there's also been rumors that Wonder Woman could be coming in the next season, so that's something. There was like a Wonder Woman statue or poster in one of Donald Mustard's recent videos, so they do tend to like to hide clues about what's coming in the future. So, anyway, as Batman and Snake Eyes fight, they begin to respect each other, and even at one point, Snake Eyes saves Batman from being taken out by one of the Fortnite characters. And then as Snake Eyes starts to slip off of a cliff, Batman saves him. And this causes a panic within the people watching the fight, that Batman has actually stopped fighting him. And the two have... and Batman and Snake Eyes start using sign language to communicate. Because they can't speak, which... Snake Eyes can't speak at all in the first place. So, Snake Eyes, from what I understand, I'm not super into the G.I. Joe lore, but from what I understand, Snake Eyes is mute because his throat was injured. So he physically, not even outside of Loop in everyday life, Snake Eyes cannot speak. So, Batman, of course, starts using sign language, and because these two come from effectively two different realities of the real world or whatever. They come from two different versions of America. They use the same kind of sign language, and they note that yes, they seem to be able to understand each other's, you know, hand signs. And from the looks of it, Batman convinces Snake Eyes to sacrifice himself to go into the storm so that he can escape the Loop. So that Batman can escape the Loop. And this apparently has caused a panic with the people watching, and they said, you know, this is something we should have expected. You know, this is why we brought him here. This is because he is this good. This is, you know, they seem to be simultaneously signaling that this is a bad thing that Batman has figured out how to get out of the Loop so quickly, but it's unexpected that he would get to this level, and that he's managed to overcome all the obstacles from being in the Loop to build a sense of respect with another warrior who shares that quality, and work together to form a plan so that he can escape. And of course, Batman is. So it seems to be both a good thing and a bad thing for them that Batman is as good as he is. But upon escaping the Loop, the first thing that Batman hears, he turns around, is somebody says to him, because, you know, they're out of the Loop now, don't move or she's going to die. And it's Deathstroke. He has taken Catwoman hostage and says that if Batman makes a wrong move, he's going to kill Catwoman. And that's where the chapter ends. So that's an interesting sort of thing, and I think it's sort of funny because they had built up this fight between Batman and Snake Eyes for so long, and then the entire chapter literally is watching the Fortnite, you know, the people in control of Fortnite fawning over these two warriors from different realities fighting each other to what seems like an eternal stalemate. So it's very much a chapter about fanboying out over watching this crossover fight. But I enjoyed this. I like learning the lore, and I like seeing these fights that, you know, in game it's just gamers playing, but in this sense it's there's a purpose behind this fight. So that's cool. And of course the Catwoman thing came, and if you got the Catwoman pickaxe from the codes that come with the comics, the bundle for her, which is just the pickaxe and the Catwoman skin, was only $700. So that was a really good deal. And next up, Chapter 4 will come with a Deathstroke glider, which we will then see Deathstroke as a skin, and I assume a pickaxe will go along with that. I wonder if he'll get like a loading screen too. Because Catwoman was just a skin and just a pickaxe. That was it. So far, Batman got a pickaxe, a glider, a skin, and a loading screen. So we'll have to see what we get with Deathstroke. But it'll be fun to actually have Deathstroke in the game finally. Because Batman, Catwoman, and Harley were already in the game. These are just new incarnations of them. So guess we'll just have to wait and see. But speaking of new stuff, we got our third loading screen of the month for crew members, which is what's it called? I think it's How's It Going, or How It's Going, I think. And this seems to be, again, this is a story that's being told through these loading screens of Cuddle Team Leader. What looks like she's now built a mecha suit of her own with a new big helmet, which I'm guessing this is going to be the next crew skin. This mecha team leader, this new, you know, I don't know what they're going to call her, but it looks like it's going to be a new version of Cuddle Team Leader. And I think that's going to be the June crew pack thing. And this is just a little story they're sharing here. But I do think it could be possible. This is also a tease for Season 7. Although that doesn't seem to be the possible or the popular idea amongst all the people that normally leak about all this stuff. Although these characters in the background, people were noticing, these are not skins in the game. So these could either be teases of upcoming skins, or it's got to be something. Because remember, in this, the story being told is that Cuddle Team Leader is now in an alternate universe. So I guess we'll find out exactly what's going on here in another week or two. We should get one more of these loading screens, which should give us the, I guess, the full story about what's happening. And then the next week, or less than a week, we should get whatever the new crew pack is. Very curious to see where they go with the crew pack after this month. This was a very, you know, they give us a lot of stuff this month. So it seems like they're trying to give more and more, but maybe they're going to have to, you know, I think they've learned their lesson from at least the Green Arrow thing, where people are like, yeah, you got to give us something a little bit more than just a skin, a pickaxe, and back bling, you know, especially for like a third-party character. But anyway, I'm super curious to see exactly what will be the end result of this story. Like I said, I'm banking on this being a new crew skin at the end of the month, and this is just a little story they're telling with it, which is cool. They sort of did the same thing for Vi or whatever her name was, the Fox Clan, where she hacked the Fortnite account. We thought that was going to be some story lore, but that just seemed to be just hyping the skin, which sucks. I wish they would make it more important. You know, it may convince more people to buy these skins or to buy the membership if it feels like these characters are important, but oh well. Then the thing I hinted at the beginning of the show is, at some point the other day during the court hearings between Apple and Epic, one of the lawyers for Apple brought up Peely and something about how they used the image for Agent Peely in court because they thought it would be more appropriate than the naked banana version of him, and somehow or some such they at some point they asked one of Epic's representatives, like, do you think there's anything inappropriate about this character being in the game? And the representative said it's just a banana, ma'am. In other words, like there's like I saw some people, I guess, took it as if to say, like, is Apple trying to insinuate that the game has inappropriate content in it? It's supposed to be, the point was supposed to be some relation to, I think it was Apple's stance on keeping controversial or inappropriate content off of its service or whatever, and then Epic. But Epic, as a service, allows that sort of content on its service, so in a roundabout way ends up on Apple's services. So I don't know, but it's just funny to think that, like, that was something that came up in the idea that this a banana with arms and legs is somehow maybe inappropriate, even if it was just as a joke. It just seems ridiculous. But I think the overall consensus on it was just supposed to be sort of a joke, and it wasn't serious. At least I'm very hopeful it wasn't serious, because I wouldn't be able to take anybody seriously if they looked at the skin and thought there was something wrong with it, morally or something like that. I don't know. But moving away from Fortnite now, some interesting talks of a rumor of a new Donkey Kong game coming from the Mario Odyssey developers. That could be pretty cool if that actually happens. I haven't really been interested in Donkey Kong in a while, because I like the Donkey Konga, like that. It just seems like it's not like a old school like platformers type game, and like I never played Donkey Kong 64, so I don't really know if I've missed out on anything like that. But if they do something like that, that could be cool. Or a 2D. I think it's supposed to be a 2D side scroller Donkey Kong game. That's supposedly what's in the works. But I think it would be cool to see Donkey Kong make a comeback. I mean, the Switch is like Nintendo's biggest console right now, possibly ever. And you would want all of your big characters to have a moment to shine on their own outside of Smash Brothers, you know? So I say, sure, bring us a new Donkey Kong game. I'd love that. And if it's a 3D platformer game and it's from the Odyssey team, then surely that means we got a hit game, potentially coming. Still surprised that we have not seen or heard anything about a potential Mario Odyssey 2. That seems like that should have just been obvious that should have happened. And maybe it will, because we're getting Breath of the Wild 2. So I don't know. It's just so weird that Odyssey really didn't get much DLC at all. There was no expansion to the core game. It's just, it should have got something. It was a Mario game. Should have got something. Did it need more? No, but more is always good. Not always, but you know what I'm trying to say. Mario, it was a Mario game. These days, almost every big game has DLC. This one only had like mini games and time trials and stuff, and that's not the real DLC that people actually want. If you got to charge people for content, give them more content, not extra little tweaks to a mini game, or just you can play the mini game portion of this game online with your friends. Yes. When I think Mario Odyssey DLC, I want to think, oh yes, racing the little mini car in that one level of New Donk City online with friends in a time trial. That's the big DLC I wanted. Like, no, that's not what I wanted. I wanted a new level or something. But it's too late to worry about that now, because the game's like 4 years old at this point, or will be towards the end of the year. So I'd rather at this point I'd rather they just make a new Mario Odyssey game. But speaking of Mario, the Mario Golf roster is out. There's a new trailer out for it. Pretty small roster at the moment. Surely that will grow. I like to imagine that they will probably be the size of or close to the size of the Mario Tennis Aces roster. And so as you can see there, we got Mario, we got Luigi, we got Wario and Waluigi, who I love these golf outfits, by the way. They're all really good. We got Peach, we got Daisy, Yoshi, Bowser Jr., Boo, Donkey Kong, Rosalina, Pauline. We got Toad, Chargin' Chuck, and King Babam. The funny thing about Charging Chuck being in this game is that apparently, like, his super swing or whatever you call it, his powered up swing, is he actually picks up the golf ball and chunks it like a like a football. That is so funny. Like, I love stuff like that because it fits his character. Yes, he's breaking the rules of golf by picking up the ball, but it's Mario. But somebody said that it looks like there's room on the roster. You can't tell from this picture, from the way I've got it cropped for the screen, but there should be room for 7 more characters. So I'm sitting here trying to think of who would they add. So I would imagine if they're looking into adding characters, let's see if I can come up with 7 characters. I don't have these written down or anything. I'm just trying to pull them right out of my head. First character off the bat I can think of would be Plum from the original Mario Golf game. I don't know why they wouldn't add her back. I don't think I think she was in the second golf game too, maybe, or maybe not. But I know there were some original characters for the original Mario Golf, and Plum actually appeared in the opening with Peach and Mario and Luigi, and she was the only one of them that actually appeared in that opening trailer. But I think there was some like Charlie or something like that are pretty forgettable characters. But I'd assume you can use your Miis or something like that too, or some such whatever. Who else could we use? I think some cross promotion could work, like what they did with Mario Kart. They didn't do that for Mario Aces, but why not put, say, Zelda or Link in there? Why not do an Animal Crossing character? Bring in Isabelle, Tom Nook, some of those characters. People seem to like that when they put them in Mario Kart. What are some other Mario characters we could have? We could have where's Birdo? People like Birdo. Shy Guy, Chain Chomp. People love Chain Chomp in Mario Tennis Aces. So who knows? Like, there's a whole bunch of characters, and they could even add more. But I am kind of surprised to see like King Babam show up. But I wonder if they'll give you costumes though. Like, can you pick Mario in his traditional outfit, or do you only have to? Or can you only play him in this outfit? So that'll be interesting to see. They probably won't do the costumes idea though. Sort of video game related, but not really. But Pokemon is a video game franchise. Pokemon cards are now banned from Whoopsie Daisy. You can see the next topic there. I'll leave it like it is. It don't matter. Well, hold on. Well, I got an idea. It didn't work. Sorry. Oh well. Ignore Sonic the Hedgehog in the background. You'll see why that's there in a minute. Anyway, Pokemon cards have been banned or being banned from sale from like Walmarts and Targets because people are stealing them. Something about like the scalpers. And apparently it's so bad that like the grading companies that like determine how much the cards are worth are being so overloaded with with rating requests that they're having to just say no, we can't do this. And apparently it's got to the point where now people are just going into the store, and because some of these cards are worth a lot of money now, or they should be worth a lot of money now, people are stealing them en masse, so they've had to stop selling them, and it's sad. And I primarily wanted to just kind of talk about this because like I remember being a kid back in school when Pokemon was the fad. It was a fad, and everybody had cards. Everybody was trading cards. It was legitimately a fad for a little while. Even people who probably didn't care about the anime, didn't care about the games, they had cards because people saw value in the cards. And just trading the cards was a big thing to do at the time. But kid in our school wanted a card real bad and stole one of his dad's baseball cards and traded it for a Pokemon card. The dad found out, got real mad, called the school to see what they could do, I guess, to get his card back. I don't know if the guy ever got his card back or not, but the school banned the cards after that. And so it lasted a little while, but once you start stealing your dad's baseball cards for the little critter cards, then that's when they're gonna have to put a stop to things. So that was sad, but it was probably bound to happen. That was a fun time, though. I did go to one of the Pokemon League things they did back then, where you could show up, you play a few matches, and you'd win points. And if you win a certain number of points, you could earn badges and all. I only ever got to go to one of them. But it was a pretty fun little experience. I don't know. Do they still do those now? I know they do, like, the big tournaments and stuff, but I don't know if they still have, like, the league thing anymore. But I know the game is a little bit different than it used to be now. So at least I think the Pokemon game hasn't changed as much as, like, Yu-Gi-Oh has. Ugh. Like, if I had to pick which game I would... Like, I think I like Yu-Gi-Oh more as a card game than I do Pokemon. But I think Pokemon would probably be a lot easier to get used to again than Yu-Gi-Oh would. Because I've played, like, online versions of Yu-Gi-Oh where the new Synchros rules and everything... And I've literally been destroyed in 2 turns from where these Synchros monsters in that game let you summon practically half your deck on the first or second move. And an entire duel can end in 2 or 3 moves. It's ridiculous. But anyway, moving on from that. Sega recently, as we move on to Sonic now, the topic of fan games came up, and somebody associated with Sega said that, I think to some people's surprise, said that Sega is okay with people making fan games of, like, Sonic. You know, if somebody wants to make a fan Sonic game, they're okay with that, as long as they're not profiting off of it. And I think that's a fair thing to do. It's certainly a lot better than Nintendo's stance of, if we see you making a fan game, we're going to send you a cease and desist notice and threaten you with a lawsuit if you tamper with our stuff at all. Even though they hired Toby Fox to work on a track for Smash Brothers, when Undertale, who got a... Like, there's a Mii Fighter skin of Sans from Undertale in Smash Brothers that you can buy that Nintendo made, even though Undertale was originally a mod of Earthbound or Mother, whatever you want to call it. So clearly a little bit of a double standard there from Nintendo, but this is cool for Sega, and they obviously said, well, we can't go into, you know, details of what we can and can't allow. But generally speaking, if it's a fan game, if it is not profiting off of Sonic's name or whatever, if you're not making money off of it, then go ahead and, you know, have fun. And I think that's the way that developers should be, you know. Because like, I think, like, the popularity of stuff like Mario Maker is proof that, and just the sheer number of indie devs that make their own games anyway, and just want to make games and fan games, like, yeah, like, people want to be able to enjoy their favorite characters. And, like, Mario Maker allowed for people to make their own Mario stuff. And the first one was very popular. I don't think there was anything wrong with the second one. I don't think that it changed enough from the first one to really have that wow factor. Because at that point, it's not a new concept. And so that it lost a little bit of its shine there. But nothing wrong with that. But that's a cool thing for Sega to say, you know what, go ahead, have fun with your games. You know, we're not going to throw you a checklist of things that you need to make sure that you either do or don't do. But this is a general stance we're taking. So I'm like, that's cool. Dragon Quest's 35th anniversary is coming up, and I cannot remember what date that is. Let me look that up real quick. I think it's the 28th. Let me see. 27th. I was off by a day. There was to be some sort of special broadcast with some information about Dragon Quest. I think even like they said future games. I'm curious as if they're going to announce a new Dragon, like a Dragon Quest 12. But the one thing I want to see out of this is a Switch port for Dragon Quest 8. That's got to happen. I want to be able to play Dragon Quest 8 on the Switch. Because I have already said that I don't have a problem with, like, for my YouTube channel or for Twitch or whatever, running games through an emulator. And I have tested Dragon Quest 8 on an emulator. And if I have to play that game, because I have the PS2 version of the game, I've beaten it. I have the 3DS version of Dragon Quest 8, I've beaten it. And I would have no problem running it on an emulator to play it for the channel. But I would much rather have an HD port of the 3DS version to show you guys than to emulate it, like do a PS2 emulation, you know. It would look much better, and I get to play it on my Switch. So I hope that that's what we get is ports of this game. That would be really, really cool. But that's pretty much all I really have to say on this. There's already a Dragon Quest rep in Smash Brothers, unless they decide to go with another one. But I don't know why they would. The most recent game is Dragon Quest 11, and the Luminary's already in Smash, so I wouldn't expect anything Smash related from this. But I suppose it could also maybe have to do with the anime that's out now, the Dragon Quest anime. Supposedly it's really good, and even looks really good. But I guess we'll just have to see. It's the 27th. That's 6 days from now, of the time of this recording. No. 8 days. A little over a week. Screw my math up there for a minute. But that will be something to keep an eye on. Also, speaking of Twitch, I'm going to try to do regular Twitch streams again. Hopefully here soon in the next few weeks. Not exactly sure when that's going to start, but I would love to have a schedule where I can stream, and the plan is to like stream on like Saturdays, Sundays, and Mondays. Start maybe about 8 or 9-ish at night. Run to 11, 12. Because I'm not going to do like these big, super long hours, you know. It will largely depend on how many people I can get to watch. And this would be primarily for older games. Like I said, these emulations of these older games that I have, you know. One, because to stream due to internet, you know, limitations. Anything with high definition graphics that moves a lot is going to be really, really blurry. So something where the graphics don't move around a lot or are less detailed will be easier to see, and the visual quality won't mean as much or be as important. So probably a lot of old Mario games, probably nothing beyond the PS1 era, N64 era stuff. And it's probably going to be stuff that's not like heavy big on story or whatever. So anything with probably a lot of replay, because I still want to do stuff regularly for the channel, for YouTube, and there are some games I want to wait and do for YouTube uploads. So I'll figure out what works and what doesn't work, and will adjust as I need to. But, hopefully I can at least start doing this and I can get an audience watching on Twitch. And if I do that, I would like to go ahead and announce this as a plan for a future YouTube series of playthroughs. If I can get to Twitch affiliate soon, or get 100 subs on YouTube, I will do a run of Legend of Legaia from the PS1. It will be emulated because anybody who's ever looked into getting this game in recent years knows that it is extremely expensive just to even get a used version of this game. It is very hard to come across, and I think this is one of the few games or examples of a game where it's just not reasonable, or it's just not feasible to get this game at a reasonable price and play it. It's long out of print. So is the console you could play it on. It's effectively a dead franchise, so emulating it is not stealing money from anyone. And like I said, hundreds of dollars for a used copy? No. That's unrealistic to expect people to pay hundreds of dollars for a used copy of a game that isn't even being sold anymore. It hasn't been in years, probably decades at this point. But I saw this. There was a friend of mine had this game on demo, and I played the demo and thought it was cool. And I think I rented it once. Yeah, I think I got it rented once and didn't get very far into it. Got stuck. I think I got stuck immediately after the point to where the demo ends, which is pathetic. But this was forever and ever ago. I couldn't even tell you how long ago it was that you could rent PS1 games from like a Blockbuster or something like that. So that's how long ago it's been. But help me get to Twitch affiliate or 100 subs on YouTube, and I will play this game because I want to play this game to the end. It seems like a really fun game, and I think it'd be cool to see this story play out. But that's all I got for you today. I guess I could have waited till like tomorrow or whatever day it is that the new Dragon Ball Super manga chapter comes out, but I guess there's a month's wait in between those, so the next show we can talk about Dragon Ball Super again. But I hope you enjoyed listening to me talk. Or listening to me talk. I think I forgot to say 2 in there. But as always, thanks for watching. Like and subscribe, all that stuff. Go check out all my other videos. For some reason, my Deadpool Gangnam Style video has really taken off in the last week. It's really gotten like hundreds of views. I don't really get it. I uploaded that 4 months ago, and suddenly people found it, and lots of people have been watching it. So I'm trying to make a new one. I'll let you figure out what the song is. It will feature Deadpool primarily. I'm kind of trying to get a running theme here of just putting Deadpool into random things. So look forward to that. I think it'll be a funny video. And hope you'll tune in for the next episode. Till then, later.